Greetings, Pamela. And greetings, Ellen. Jennifer. One moment, please. I am preparing our session today. Hello, Omar and Richard. Pleasure. Okay. Hello, Zena. All righty, so greetings all. Thank you once again for joining us for another Let's Build. Of course, today's subject matter is the gift of giving. Always a great pleasure to connect with you all in this now moment as we share what is this transition and the liberation of humanity. And as we heal ourselves, we heal all. Once again, a great pleasure and honor for you all being here and connecting today. Of course, it's an empty house as of now. All are out doing things. However, I am here, and we will start our session today. Corey did provide me with a playlist for today's session, so I'll start today's session off with the gift of giving, and then we'll move on into the other proceedings to begin our talk today. So once again, thank you for joining us, and a great honor to connect with you as always. A pleasure. This song is entitled "The Gift of Giving." I will post the link. Actually, I'll allow Corey to do that. I have a couple of different things going on, and this is his work. So he'll post the links a little later when he comes back after his schooling. But I'll play the song now, and we'll start our session. Thank you for being here.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, this is another DJ DNA production. Yeah. You already got this. I pick up the DNA for the groove, man. Beautiful sound, don't you agree? I like to say salami gave me, salami shot of y'all. Yeah. Throughout the galaxy, we doing what we does. Pick up the my colleagues, galactic Betty on the surface, right? Yeah. Pick up the crazy ladies. What's up, ladies? What up? Yeah. AJ, King Self, my man Nick and them Paul, what's going on, baby? Yeah, always one source, man. We do what we does, going there again. Check up, still serving. Jay Irvin behind the back, enough rational things to pass out. No harmony is here. Moving the shakers, standing in an earthquake building. Down the small shield, never stressing. We just represented on and go and help and feel these feelings. Temporary transmissions, touch holes is one hole, no keep up permission. Crocodile the beat, couldn't slice it. Correct cuss, when we bust, never lopsided. Yeah. Switch to quick creation. Stage the old changes, see his brain straight down. Yeah. What's the color of the love chopper? Shimani Watson out shoe shopping. The topical showstoppers. Let's explore together. Soul burden on the rainbow, there's no reason. Look around, enjoy the colors. Left side like that black and white. Alright. Serious rhyme, see me rapping nice. Word up. Smell like I got 1,000 seeds. My dog, yo, peace, what up, E? A focus psyche. Money back, guarantees. Your wife. So Nike, I did it already. Toss confetti, switch whips, model steps, Tommy Passetti. Cowboy hat, yo. That Richard Petty, And you need me plenty. Galactic Fetty. 11, yo. They know I'm ready. Hot, vinegar activated, bacon pockets hold the high rollers. Flip dice and stack chips, liquid sports, straight flush. Ride the vortex, go home like the torch light. 13 up late, count the sheep, shit on beats, like I'm not feeling them, dream rhythms in other realms. Spontaneous and service all over at the same time, beyond mine. The gift of giving, the pure love we share here as one family. Never damage, yeah, never damage, yo. Give it up, give it up, give it up now. Give it up, gotta give it up. Give it up, give it up, give it up, yo. Give it up, gotta give it up. Give it up, give it up, give it up now. Give it up, gotta give it up.
Giving is not a bad problem. Giving is a filling up. The more love you give, the more you have. Write that down in your heart 50 times until you live it. The question in life is not, what return am I getting? But rather, how much am I giving? And giving freely, giving without any idea of return. The pleasure of giving is giving. There is no more to it than that.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here at the Let's Build today. I am your commander, Ashtar, who we are, the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light. And it's always a great pleasure and honor to serve alongside you here in this dimension on planet Earth as we realize and unfold the liberation of the human species. So, of course, today's talk is the gift of giving, and a rather exciting topic. I'm rather passionate about the giving aspect of our experience and being an integrated aspect of our purpose and being here. Much to get into today, but as always, it's necessary for us to connect on a much more intimate level in this now moment as we continue to expand. So before we get into our seminar portion today, as always, it's necessary for us to ground ourselves, and we're going to go into our exercise, which we like to call the 1-minute meditation. For those of you who have been here before, you are well aware of the nature of such an activity. However, for those who are new to this connection, we ask that you basically relax yourself. Be here in this now moment where we can connect with you on a much more deeper level energetically, where once again, I am but the physical manifestation of a consciousness collective and representing the angelic realms. So through this, you realize that we are with you now energetically. However, to deepen our connection or allow this connection to flourish in this now moment, it's necessary for us to clear ourselves of that which is taking place throughout the day. And we ask that you just calm yourself. There's no need to change anything about your physical environment or manipulate anything that is of present. Just basically about being here and stilling yourself for about a good 60 seconds. It's not necessarily for you to just chant a mantra or attempt to control your thoughts. Just allow yourself to be still and close your eyes for 60 seconds and be open to the connection that we will establish in this now moment. So let's go to work. 60 seconds here and now. So gradually, very gracefully, take your time to sense your extremities, your arms, your legs, your feet, toes, fingers, Begin to open your eyes to our connection, the lovely connection, for the lovely connection that it is. Be here. Once again, I cannot reiterate enough that it is an honor that you are here. You can be anywhere else in the world, anywhere else in consciousness. However, your openness to be here is valued amongst us on a grand level. That you heal, it's necessary to recognize this is the greatest work being done here on this planet. The energetic work within you as the manifestation of source. The clearing of that which is the illusory mind programming that still controls the lives of many billions of humans here on planet Earth. We as extraterrestrials are here to connect and assist those who are open. Your openness is reflective of your level of spiritual maturity. It's been many, many lifetimes that has led up to this now moment where we are able to cultivate that which is the truth of our being. Once again, it's nothing short of a great honor in connecting with you in this now moment. So, the gift of giving, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it. It's time to build. Context, the contextual definition of giving, the free transfer of a possession from someone to someone else, to hand over, bestow upon. This involves love, affection, or any other form of emotional support. To freely devote one's energy. I can go on days and days about the nature of giving. However, I'll take this by the numbers, one step at a time. So, when we look at the purpose of life, this is rather broad. I'm not going to define the purpose of life, where this is beyond the logical comprehension and would be limiting to attempt to define the broader spectrum of the purpose of existence. However, in one aspect, there is an experience of oneself as a service to oneself. An experience of oneself as a service to oneself, where maturity is in being conscious of oneself and allowing the incarnate to trust oneself. That's a lot. So let's take it slow and break down the nature of the statement. A very intuitive and complex statement at the same time. An experience of oneself. You're God. You're here. When people say, "Oh, I'm God," or when we express and we know that we are God, yes, this is a lot, because at the end of the day, God is all there is. It's the energy, the fabric of love and existence, all within you, the holographic experience, the experience of oneself. And of course, with you being all, that includes all reflections of self. That means other people, the rocks, animals, trees, the air, the unseen aspects of self, which you realize is who we are, the angelic realms that are here with you, assisting in the path of experience here in the illusion. The experience of oneself as a service to oneself. Now, this is key. a service to oneself, where you are here to shine the light of divine truth through your own essence as a service to who you are. And being here on planet Earth, you're here to be yourself. And through you being yourself, you're actually serving others through being yourself, being a divine reflection. The nature of the healing that you're doing at present is in being shining the light of divine truth and being the authentic self. And the authentic self is the one of unconditional love and self-acceptance and forgiveness and all the things that, at least the adjectives that we describe or place to label attributes of our pure essence. The experience of oneself as a service to oneself. I go on to say, where maturity is in being conscious of oneself. Spiritual maturity is in being conscious of oneself. Who are you? You are God. Being conscious of who you are as God. Being conscious of who you are as everything and nothing. All reflections. Your spiritual maturity is in realizing that all reflections are but a reflection of you, who you are as source. It takes a deep amount of spiritual maturity to embody this. Intellectually, yes, it's very easy to say, oh, yes, I'm self and all the reflections, I get that. However, the embodiment and realization of such a reality takes much energetic internal work to truly embrace. Furthermore, where maturity is in being conscious of oneself, allowing the incarnate to trust oneself. As you are conscious of who you are as the creator, as the source of all there is, of the path that you're experiencing, all the things that have unfolded and taken place throughout your experience here on earth, and being your own creation. These are your creations, all of it, the entire experience, the dramas, the ups and downs, the energetic frequencies, the emotional fluctuations, all of your experience. It's all of your creation. This is what you're here to experience as the creator. And when you recognize this, you realize that there's only perfection, and all that has unfolded and all that is of your creation, where you recognize that there are no mistakes. When you recognize that there are no mistakes, you're developing a sense of trust in who you are as a creator and recognizing that you will be okay. You're experiencing your own path, and all that is taking place has been necessary for you to come to this place. In actuality, you being here where we are connecting in this now moment is of a grand nature, because in actuality, in being here, you are leading the way into the liberation of the species, where we are shifting out of the hell planes back into the heavenly realms. A great place to be. As the guardians of the new earth, a great place to be. So as we experience ourselves, we are in service to ourselves, where the consciousness of ourselves as God allows us to trust ourselves. I say all of that to say this. And this has been expressed quite a few different times in many different ways. We're always experiencing our own energy. The nature of this holographic reality. Those of you who have been on the ascension path and the awakening path have done quite a bit of research as far as the nature of this experience, of this path. And a lot of you are familiar with the toroidal field, the human energy field. The toroidal field, the human energy field, having this source or foundation within the heart space, moving outward into a 360-degree circle throughout our toroidal field, basically the illusion, the hologram that we're experiencing and moving around upon. and always coming back and back into our core, the circular motion of energy moving up and out into the illusion. However, the toroidal field works in the nature where, of course, it moves from a rotation out, up, down, and back up into the core of our being. This is the nature of the toroidal field. Now, just for those of you who aren't familiar, you're welcome to look it up. Look up the toroidal field or the human energy field. This is the nature of some of the most famous or well-recognized coined phrases amongst the human species. To name a few, what goes around comes around. What you put out comes back. What you invest your energy into always returns. What you focus on, as you sow, shall you reap. These are all coined phrases that are recognized amongst the human species. And of course, with the toroidal field, we have a exemplary example of the nature of how this energy moves and how such a reality can be recognized in a very practical sense, where we're able to logically recognize the nature of what's unfolding or what's taking place, how such a reality is possible. In a nutshell, the foundation of all these coined phrases remains: your love never returns to you void. Everything that you put out, the love that you share, all that you express, your projections, none of it returns void. That means there's always something that is an effect of the cause, which is your projections. Now, this is a lot more complex than is recognized on a superficial level. There are those who will use phrases or concepts such as karma and feel that we're speaking about something of a black and white nature, where what you do is going to come back to you, or somebody's going to do the exact same thing to you. Now, this is a little limiting. Why? Because life is a lot more complex than that. There's a much more to be realized in the nature of such a manifestation. It's not about it's not simple as what you're doing is going to be mirrored, especially by the person you're actually projecting it upon. It's a little deeper than that. However, we do recognize that there's an energy return. This energy is not to be analyzed. However, the energy does exist, and it's only necessary for us to recognize that as a truth. As we express in the energy or the love that we express, or the nature of the love that we express, is returned to us as source, as the source. Everything that you put out into the hologram or the illusion will return to you as the source of it. So it's necessary for us to recognize this. When it comes to giving, why people don't give? Why is it so difficult for us to give? And I say us, and I'm being very general in speaking of human population. Most people operate in the ego mind. Those who are not on the healing path are basically stuck within the ego mind identity. The ego mind identity, the base of that consciousness. The base of that consciousness is a poverty consciousness. This is a consciousness of scarcity. To feel that there's lack and limitation. When we speak of lack and limitation, we speak of what? All rooted in fear. We speak of survival mode. People feel as if they're here to survive and attempting to grasp everything that they have to maintain a sense of being, a sense of comfort. Survival mode is based in fear. This is in feeling that we will not have what we need, so it's necessary for us to prepare or stock and be ready for things that may fall apart, or things, or for emergencies. We put things to the side just in case of an emergency. This is a human programming, and this programming is based in fear. We put money aside to protect ourselves from the things that we don't want. What is this? This is us preparing for that which we do not want to experience. Preparing for that which you do not want to experience is equivalent to insanity. This is a self-inflicting form of bondage, to prepare for that which you do not want to experience, that which you do not prefer, out of fear. Once again, they say there's nothing to fear but fear itself. There's a lot of truth to this, because at the end of the day, fear is the source of all suffering, all lack and limitation, all harm. It's the source, it's the energy source of these circumstances, whatever circumstance it may be that caters to a sense of fear, caters to a sense of lack or limitation or suffering. It has its root in fear. And as you invest your energy into that fear, this is what comes out of it. This is where people don't, or incarnates don't trust themselves. For one, out of ignorance. They're not conscious of who they are as the creator. They feel as if they're the human body in this big world and big universe of infinite possibilities, and anything can happen. And the ego mind says that anything that can happen means that the worst thing that possibly could happen will happen. And this is the energy that gives birth to that which we do not prefer to happen, because we assume that we are our bodies, and that in this big world of scary, ruthless, cold-hearted people, we must protect ourselves and our family from the boogeyman. And once again, this is unwise, because it's based in fear. And of course, we recognize fear as an illusion. One moment, please. Being that I'm the only person here, I must answer the door now. So one moment. Thank you for your great patience. So once again, people not trusting themselves. One, there's an ignorance to the nature of one's presence and being conscious of who you are as a creator. I don't trust myself, or I don't trust myself, or I don't trust life because I don't trust myself, because I don't recognize that I'm infinite intelligence. I am God, and what I'm experiencing is what I'm experiencing is my own story. This ignorance assumes that because I'm experiencing my own story, I have not created the supply necessary, all the things necessary for me to move through this path clearly. So the brain feels it's necessary to prepare for that which I will not have, as if this is the nature of the reality you're experiencing. Of course, we realize that we always have what we need the more we are sensitive to that which is taking place and that which is unfolding. And number two, that trust of oneself is based on a level of courage. It's necessary for us to actually have the courage to trust ourselves, The courage to trust our experience beyond needing proof, beyond needing validation or confirmation from something outside of ourselves that life is intelligent. There's a need of the mind identity for confirmation, for proof. It needs to know because it's scared. It needs to know because it's in fear. This is never helpful. This is always the ignorance of the mind identity. So once again, people don't trust themselves because of the ignorance of not realizing who you are as God, and because of the lack of courage that the ego mind has, because it just does not realize what it is that's taking place here. It's in fear. What you hold back from life, life holds back from you. This is self-sabotage. You're here to serve. You're here to experience your abundance. The mind identity is, once again, ignorant to the nature of this experience. So it feels it's necessary to hold on to that which is. It feels necessary to place security above all else. Being secure, being safe. This is where most souls invest their energy into on a day-to-day basis, to be secure, to be okay. They just want to be okay, as if you're here to make sure. Let me rephrase that. As if life is about making sure you don't die. That's just not intelligent. To be born to make sure you don't die. It's not wise. All are here to contribute to experience. You're safe. It's necessary to recognize this first and foremost. You're safe. You're experiencing yourself, and all that's necessary is taking place. All that you have, all that you need is here in this now moment, and it will continue to be that way for the eternity of this now moment. You will always have everything that you need right now for your greatest spiritual benefit. Why? Because it's of your own creation. So, as we speak of giving, we're here to contribute. We all have gifts that we have been bestowed upon within our harmonic frequency, our essence. These are the things that we enjoy to do. Through these things, through these expressions of enjoyment, we're allowing the flow of abundance to continue to flow, and allowing the love that is within our heart space to flow out into our experience. When it comes to the love that we have been, the frequency of love, our harmonic essence, that which we enjoy to do, that which we are here to express. When it comes to vocation, when it comes to the talents and abilities that we have, our compassion, our sensitivity, all that we're here to experience, all that we are here to express through our essence. This is the essence that we're here to share. It's a thoughtless activity. It's about being. It's the nature of our presence. A compassionate person, a sensitive person, a loving person doesn't have to think about being loving. An expressive person does not have to think about expressing themselves. They just do so. As you see me in this now moment, I wear the rose. I wear bright colors. I enjoy beautiful jewelry. It's the nature of my essence. I can be in a place and not have to reiterate the nature of my vibrance. I'm a vibrant person. This is the nature of my essence. I can just be here. And me being here, I am offering an expression of the creation, of the creator throughout creation by my mere presence. And the same goes for you. You have that beauty. That beauty is there within you. It's up to you to cultivate this essence, which will gauge the capacity in which you're able to share this essence with life itself. Through you cultivating your sense of presence, your sense of being, your sense of confidence, and realizing who you are as a creator. Purpose. Let's talk about purpose for a second. Because many inquire about purpose and they want titles and names and specific tasks, and they ask, what should I do? What am I supposed to do? As if another person is supposed to tell them what they are to do with their life, with their free will. This is a violation of free will. No one's here to tell you what to do. The transmissions are not about you should do this or you should do that. It's about you embracing your own essence and doing what you enjoy doing what you want to do with your free will. Purpose is your unconditional life's work. Your unconditional life's work. There's more than meets the eye with this statement. More than meets the ear with this statement. Your unconditional life's work. This means the work that you do in your life on a daily basis unconditionally, for free, without any focusing on receiving anything. It's what you do. It's what you do. You get up and do it. This is a part of your being. And of course, purpose, it caters to a sense of beauty, where we realize the blessing of being alive. When you recognize your life's work, your unconditional life's work, you get up every day and you do this work without thinking about it. It's your life's work. It's just what you do. And when you're operating within this frequency of being and doing this life's work, of course, life is much more beautiful. There's a purpose. There's an aim. There's a focus. There's a sense of presence that radiates from you. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy experience. Of course, we're continuing to heal. We're continuously healing. However, with purpose, with the sense of purpose, with the sense of focus and knowing within ourselves of why we are here, why we are alive, what we're here to do, there's a sense of satisfaction. There are many who get up and do the things that they don't want to do every day. And I get that. Some of you may still operate within the mode of survival and feeling as if you're here to survive and provide and maintain certain responsibilities. This is okay and necessary for now. However, as you awaken, as you mature and unfold the core within your essence, the core of your being, as you mature spiritually, you cultivate the intent of living in alignment with the essence of who you are and cultivate the intent of being able to get up and do what you want to do on a daily basis. This intent is allowing such a path to unfold for you. It's only necessary that you continue to cultivate that focus. There was a time I woke up every day and I went to a job, and yes, I made handsome sums of money, and I was supporting people. I was rather happy, but once again, getting up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning wasn't what I actually wanted to do. To do that, I felt that I was here for a greater purpose. I wanted to get up and do what I wanted to do and not necessarily go out and support someone else's dreams for handsome sums of money. My freedom. I want to say I had a line in one of the songs that I said, I felt silly being underpaid for my freedom. I was being paid a lot of money, but once again, my freedom is priceless. There isn't a dime or a figure that you can pay me for security, to feel secure, that would be worth my freedom. Me being able to get up every morning and do what I wanted to do. And through me cultivating this intent, of course, the way was created. I'm not going to say this was truly easy. However, the intent and focus allowed the way to be created and clear. When I did not want to get up in the morning, I had to set my alarm clock to get up in the morning to go and do the things that I was doing for the money that I was making. When I anticipated getting off of work, I anticipated the weekend, I realized that I was not doing what I wanted to do. I was doing what I had to do. And this is not the nature of a leader. However, I was willing to play the part that I played for the time being until the means were created for me to do so. Here's where you realize, and actually this is where I realized I was doing what I wanted to do. When I woke up every morning, before I used to wake up without having to set an alarm clock. I get up earlier than I used to get up for work now. And many of you see, sometimes I post things at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm working. It's not to take pictures of breakfast or whatever the case may be, no judgment here. However, when I get up in the morning, I'm working, because when I awake, I realize the blessing of being alive, and I'm here doing what I want to do. I don't need an alarm clock to get up in the morning. So I'm in alignment with what it is that I want to do. Let's move back to the nature of giving. When I was reading, I used to be an avid reader. Great times, great information. I've come to a place of releasing such activity as of now because I'm expressing content on a daily basis. It was a book called The Prophet. Many of you are familiar with this book, The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. And there he wrote, there was a quote. I'm not going to quote it verbatim. I just recognize the nature of the context of the quote itself. It was, "You give but little when you give your possessions, but as you give of yourself, you truly give. When you give of yourself, you truly give. And when you give of yourself, we speak of giving of your love." Possessions are superficial and sometimes necessary. However, the deeper aspect of that giving remains in your ability to provide your love and give of yourself. Giving your love involves many aspects of your being. There may be people on the street and people in not the most comfortable situations. Many humans stray away from these people because they're in such fear of losing what they already have. They hold on to what they have for dear life. Why? Because they're scared. They're in survival mode. They're in fear of not having what they need at all times. They're in fear of life. They're ignorant to the nature of who they are. They don't have the courage to let go. Scared. This is okay. This is where they are in their experience on their path. However, those with an open heart recognize connecting with these souls as an opportunity. And this is not an opportunity from a superficial space of giving money and receiving. It's not an equation, as beautifully stated in the last song. It's not an equation. It's not when I give, I get. This is superficial, and the hidden desire is to receive versus the gift of giving. That's why it's called the gift of giving. It's an opportunity. It's a beautiful opportunity to share an energy. And it's not about what you're getting. It's about the actual act of giving. This is where the beauty is. This is where the joy is, the act of giving. There are those who will cling and come up with different excuses on why not to give to these people. And they work for the mafia and someone else collects the money, or they're using drugs, so they need the money, or alcohol, or whatever the case may be. A bunch of different filters as to the nature of what a person may do with the money or the offering that you may give. This is not your concern when you're giving from a place of unconditional love. When you're giving from a place of conditional love, yes, this is your concern. But however, the same quote within, or the same stanza within the Khalil Gibran book spoke of there being those who give for the sake of recognition. I'm not quoting verbatim, however, this was the nature of the context. There were those who give for the nature of recognition, where this form of giving is conditional and not wholesome. There are those who will give clothes or a rain jacket or give food to the homeless. However, they want to film it. They want to film it and show everybody and say, well, hey, guys, I gave to people. Look. They enjoy the recognition, the hidden desires of recognition based on their level or their ability to give. This is self-destructive. This is conditional love. This is not helpful at all, because the desire is to receive. The foundation of the act itself was to receive. If it was out of retention or some type of benefit based on their ability to give. This is not helpful. Unconditional love is the nature of real love. It's the giving that you do when no one's looking that is beautiful. The exchange that takes place in an intimate environment where it is you and the recipient alone, beyond the desire of a witness or an audience to witness how great you are for giving, how loving you are for giving. Unconditional love works like this. Throughout your experience here on earth, there's been people who have been there for you on many different levels, said things to you, given things to you, people who have contributed to your conscious presence. And when I say contributed to your conscious presence, I mean those who have made an energetic impact on your being throughout your experience. I'm talking about the mother who comforted you after getting a beating from your father, the neighbor who shared sugar with the household when you had none, the friend who showed compassion after you expressing yourself in a way that was less than wholesome. The examples can go on for days. However, all of these experiences of the linear illusion have catered to the nature of your presence in this now moment. There's people who have supported me in ways that are boundless in nature. However, the support that they've given me unconditionally, without expectation of anything reciprocal, left the deepest imprint on my presence. And when I moved into this path of awakening and taking the lead on the nature of ascension, the trials and tribulations or the illusory experiences that we call challenges or blockages that weren't real, these are the pillars, the motivation that gave me the push forward in recognizing the honor that it was to participate in the liberation of humanity. Many of these people I don't necessarily have contact with on a daily basis in this now moment. However, they have left an imprint on my being. They've supported me in ways that I couldn't thank them for. However, these people have created a sense of trust, a sense of empathy for humanity. It doesn't have to be all of humanity. It can just be one person. However, that empathy has allowed me to see all as reflections where I have a deep unconditional love for all of humanity. I'm able to see past those who are destructive amongst humanity because I realize within the hearts of all individuals, there is that essence of unconditional love. I'm not saying I'm indebted at all. I don't owe people anything, just as people don't owe me anything. However, I do realize the amount of love or the ability, the sense of entitlement of the love that is my own amongst all, the entitlement to this a level of freedom and unconditional acceptance amongst all. Being open to share, we have room to receive. Being open and able to share, we have room to receive that which is our love, more of it, versus blocking out that which life is attempting to provide us. We close ourselves off in assuming that by closing ourselves off, we can protect that which we have out of a sense of security. Once again, that security is based on, or our focus on security is based on the assumption that we are not safe. This is fear, which is not intelligent. Fear is ignorant. Love is intelligent. Being loving is being open. This is a beautiful statement. Our sense of abundance and comfort is directly related to the quantity and quality of the service that we give. I'll say it one more time. Our sense of abundance and comfort is directly related to the quantity and quality of the service that we have to give, that we provide. Once again, there's that rotation again. That which we give, the outflow, the outpouring of the love that we are, is responsible for our comfort and abundance. The foundation of all resources, all wealth is based on our ability to give. I'll go back to the homeless person example. Some people just avoid eye contact with people who are asking for money. That's how deeply rooted the fear is. That's how deeply rooted the sense of lack is within many souls. They just don't want to have eye contact with these souls because they feel vulnerable. The mind feels vulnerable. The heart is always the master. The heart allows the mind to feel that it is the master. However, once again, the mind always runs from anything that has to do with the heart, has to do with the feelings. Why? Because it knows that it will have to give up its assumed mastership or its assumed mastery, because it knows that the heart is really in control. The heart is truly the master. So the brain avoids eye contact with the soul, and not being able to look another soul in the eye and honestly observe without being loving. And it's not about the money. There have been many times that I've walked down the street and not have had a dime in my pocket, literally. However, once again, back to the quote, you give but little when you give up possessions. When you give of yourself, you truly give. When I connect with these souls, I'm able to share a smile, to share a greeting, to say hello, to say, I don't have it this time. Maybe next time I'll remember. I'll remember you next time I see you. It's all good. However, my sense of openness and humility and dignity when communicating with these individuals, with reflections of self, from a place of royalty and recognizing all are divine, all are the creator, beyond the superficial nature of what is in one's pocket. The dignity and joy in which I carry myself, they recognize the nature of my royalty. And I recognize the nature of theirs through my actions, through my essence, through my ability to recognize all as God. The most potent activity within the realm of giving. And I think I'll say that. Forgiving. It's in the word. Forgiving is giving to yourself. Once again, forgiving is giving to yourself. It's the ability to let go of the illusion of the past, of that which has transpired, which is of your own creation, to create that which you consciously are in this now moment, the unconditional love that's still here. It's letting go of the illusion and being open to what you have created for yourself. Because once again, you're here experiencing your blessing. All of your blessings, the wonder and joy and beauty and magic of who you are as a creator. Forgiveness allows you to let go of that which hasn't transpired, which has basically been the grooming, the cultivation of your capacity to love now. You're able to love so much because of all that you've experienced. The ability to continue to love. This is what's important. It's not about the horror stories of what's taking place in your path and where you're from and, oh, I'm from the street, or I grew up poor, I had to walk to school, I had to walk in the snow and we had no money and I was crying. None of these stories are the truth of you. The truth of you is now and being the only true reality there is. Your ability to love, your ability to smile, the essence that you radiate amongst your presence. This is who you are. These experiences have been but illusory catalysts of the nature of your presence now, allowing you the capacity to give more, the love that you have to share in this now moment. This is what you have to share. This is who you are. The love that you have to share is who you are, and that love is experienced in this now moment by all, and you being the core, the source of this love. I digress. The most potent and greatest aspect that we have to give, the greatest activity of giving in itself, the most potent of that which we have to share, is our ability to give thanks. To give thanks. To be in gratitude for existence itself. To be in gratitude for self, for the experience of life in this now moment. Our ability to consciously be in gratitude for life itself is an expression of the utmost divine sense of spiritual maturity and wisdom. This is where we recognize who we are as the creator. Yes. Giving is a form of self-love. As you give to yourself, all reflections, you love yourself more. This is allowing your love or catering to the expansion of your love. Continuing to give. Shining the light of divine truth remains about being the truth. It's not about talking about it or writing beautiful inspirational quotes. It's about the embodiment of that which you know to be the truth amongst your environment. Shining the light amongst the darkness. This is what you're here to do as healers. To coexist amongst the chaos. However, represent the truth where those that resonate with that truth are able to see an example of what it is. This is a leader leading by example. A leader is not about telling people what to do, giving out orders or instructions. A leader is here to do the work, to lead the way. It does what a leader does. And through doing what a leader does, loving unconditionally, forgiving oneself, expressing yourself, opening your heart, existing more beyond fear, being compassionate, giving, you set an example for those who intend to be inspired to recognize what a true leader is. It's recognized through your essence, through your actions. They see you. We see you. Even when you assume that you're not seen, you see you. However, being seen is not your focus. Leaders do what's necessary when no one's looking. Doesn't need an audience to be a leader. It's just a leader regardless. I'll close with this. Went rather extensive today. Once again, giving is a very powerful subject, and once again, a pillar of the healing that's necessary here on planet Earth. We're unfolding the liberation of humanity, an abundance that many inquire about on a daily basis. In the Gusara programs, we inquire about this quite often. However, once again, the essence, the values that go along with such an abundance have their foundation in your ability to give and exist beyond fear in divine abundance. There's a coined term that many of you are familiar with. It's necessary to recognize this. They say love makes the world go round. It's a metaphor. Love is a fabric of existence. We do live on a circular sphere, and with anything circular, the love that allows the world to go round, that makes the world go round, it always comes back. Ladies and gentlemen, give. It's a gift. It's not about the receiving. Yes, this is natural in the integrated aspect of the experience and allowing yourself to be a well of the abundance that is a creator. However, your focus, the mature focus, is to continue to serve. In divine service, as always, thank you for being here. I am your Commander Ashtar of the Angelic Realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light. And it is an honor and blessing to be here on planet Earth in this now moment. We love you. I'll pass it over to our maestro, who's here now, overseas, and he will pull up our next selection before we take a break. What's that, bro?
What was that? What you start with?
Oh, the gift of giving. I could do it here. Now that I got everything in the computer on my phone. Let's see. Super duper dope. See me. I'll go with Love the One.
No, actually.
What's that?
I would say that.
The outro? Okay, you did speak on that. I just remembered that you said
How
that.
about Up and Away?
Okay, cool.
Get them back up.
Easy enough. So,
I'll share them.
yeah. So being that overseas is here now, he's going to share the links to the songs that we've been playing or the song that I played previously on our comment section here. The next song that we'll be playing is Up and Away featuring A-Styles and Amun Ra. He used to be called SWAT. He's here now. And of course, Angel just creeped in on us. He's here as well. We'll return in a few moments to begin our discussion session, our open discussion session here at the Rob. And of course, after that, we'll take a break and then go into our inquiry section and discussion session on our internet forum. Once again, thank you for joining us here at the Let's Build. It's always a pleasure. Up and Away, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Come on, baby. Yeah. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, yo, we about to yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, yo, we about to sky, baby, do you see me now? Cause I feel easy every time I try to look down. I see you smiling, look really, they wanna see me brown. I ain't God's brother, dog, walk over water, no matter what circumstances, I'm a rap for these cats. I could rap B-boy standards in the microphone checking live. One deuce, yeah, I'm new, but I don't have to do shit, though. Yeah, every time you rap, it's a rap. Every time you rhyme, it's a testimonial flow feeding on my peoples. And on the low, big status quo, climbing up in the way. Back in the road, I L clips, know the power game tight, then I pass it to the mass. Kaboom, dynamite in the harvest of fruit by accepting the admiration. Further than you niggas, I'm focused on my ascension. Yeah. Hey, yo, up and away. Bring it up to you, yo, we about to see. Yeah. Hey, yo, up and away. Got my ticket. 1, 2, 3, 4, yo, we about to see. Stepping back and take a look with your third eye. Wait, where they come clean, cause I'm hip fly. My TV mathematics, algebra divide. Get a known life, formulating prophecies. I came from Babylon, but I didn't get in. And I didn't have to do what my mother said, but I had a lot to do with my 6 cents. Now I'm back in my world where I'm waiting. It's not my heart, soul, mind's clearer. 2020 says I'm clearer, but I know I'm clearer. A session, divine, intuition, no wishing. My power pilled up and I'm on a mission. Slipping on my chest, God body less. 155 pure soul of bliss. Universal element, did next round fine to see you on the moon. So yo, I'm right up in the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, yo, we about to see it. Stop, yeah. Yo, up and down. Yo, 1, 2, 3, 4, yo, we about to see it. After I about to set it, I was jumping on my big dreaming about the I do this nigga. Yo, transformer covers, can't do to be of service. The universal brothers, man. Got that crack my wrist, I asked y'all see me, little play my team, look for the light. See that shit coming, legendary, this shit nerd. Still dancing with my draws on these bars, I don't hear it. How my heart need no weapon, so ain't no half stepping. I'm already sitting here with a multitude of spirits, just can't hear the minute. In the name of my maker, and I'm about to love it, cause it does give a procreator. The extra will cook it, start shouting the shizzle. This age gon' be golden, shining like the golden. And 5 years so lavish, heavenly abundance, but we kick it. Yeah, top, yeah,
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our Let's Build. Again, today's subject matter is the gift of giving, and this is our open discussion portion. Our open discussion portion. Basically, this portion is about us having a conversation together about the nature of our giving experiences amongst our linear experience here on the planet, here in our cipher. So you will be here to join our conversation. We'll speak later, but now it's about us communicating about our experiences here on the plane of existence and how giving has been a part of our reality. So I will back the computer up just a second. Today, of course, we have Angel, AAA, Amun Ra, and we have Overseas. And we are going to discuss giving, fellas. What's up? What's up? What's going on?
Giving.
What's good?
Wow. What's good?
What's good? Everybody quiet. What's up? What's good? Talk. What's
I just
popping?
went through a boring session in class.
Yeah, so you dead now?
I mean, you got that British accent and the monotone. So it's like some of the things he
Oh,
talks
okay.
about is like, but it's interesting, but if he wasn't so monotone, I think it would be a more vibrant class. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, you're gonna work on giving your attention to the teacher.
I do. I give my full attention to him. It's just I got a lot of these freshly graduates of high school in there too. So they got their sidebar conversations and all that. But yeah, full of them. It's only about maybe 5 or 6 of us that are in a nature of maturity as far as well past that. It's a good, like, I think 18. Yeah, it's a pretty good class. But always, that class is always full because it's the first writing class.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got a story to get about giving.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. You start first.
Okay. Well, speaking of giving, though, before I start,
You talking to us?
yeah. Well, I want to actually thank the people here for the UBC rocks. That is a form of giving anyway, and I just want to like show my gratitude for that. They picked that up and then just rolled with it, and the way it picked up, it kind of like, you know, inspired me. And so sometimes you forget, you know, and you get stuck in the noise, and it is about giving sometimes, or most of the time it is about giving. And the story that I would like to tell you guys is years ago, and I think this story is the only memory I have that was a major impact for me as far as giving. And I grew up poor, and like it was interesting what you said. I got a lot from that story that you gave me, that you gave everybody, about giving. It's not about the monetary value of what you have in your pocket, but at that moment when I think I was 15 years old. I grew up very poor, and then, you know, having like $5 in your pocket was like a big thing. Yeah. 15, not having money. And you have $5, you're happy about it, right? You want to go to the store, you want to do something with it. You keep $5. It's $5 is big.
$5.
It was big back in the days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can get the penny gums and stuff. For $1, you get 100 of them.
Little Chinese joint.
Right? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, like for me, $5 was like pretty big for me. Like So I have $5 in my pocket, and I'm pretty proud of myself walking down the street. Then a homeless man happened to be, you know, just laying there. It was like under the bridge. I'm walking down the bridge. At first I was a bit afraid. Didn't want to look at him. But you know what? Something just told me, hey, just to talk to the dude. So I said, hey, how you doing? And he said, well, how you doing? Hey, can you spare me some money? Can you spare me some money? I don't have anything right now. I need get something to eat. And usually, you know, you know, when people come to you and do that, your first reaction is to kind of ignore them and keep going, because you know, you don't know what it is. You know, they always told me you don't know what they're gonna do with the money. You know, but at that moment, I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I gave him the $5 that I had in my pocket. That really actually meant a lot to me. And it was hard, but once I gave it to him, it was hard.
Money, yo.
Yeah, but once I gave it to him, it's the unbelievable feeling. I was overwhelmed with like some kind of like gratitude. It was like it set me free. Like I felt so free, and the weight of my shoulders just gone. Like almost as if like there was no worries anymore. Even though I gave him my $5, I wasn't worried about it. And that feeling that I felt so good that it was worth more than having that $5 in my pocket. And the thing is, I know it's not about getting something back, but that feeling can be addictive. So you want to give again, and you want to give again, and it's not about but you get something back, but that feeling that you get, that good feeling inside, that warm feeling, is something that I think is a reflection of what giving is about. You know what I mean? Because you can give, and some people, like you said, very superficially want everybody to know about it, but there was no one there. It was just a good feeling, almost to the point that I almost teared because it felt so good. And then I said, you know what? Enjoy that. I don't need it. And I was free from it. Yeah. And then just that one experience was a ripple effect, a domino effect of more giving for everyone, for people. So, you know, giving without getting something back, except for that gratitude.
Well, what part about it that made you feel good about doing it, besides the feeling?
Well,
you don't get your bubblegum no more.
Right.
But you felt good. So what inspired you, but what
why did I feel good?
No, but before you even felt good, what said, hey, Angel, just give it to me?
Okay, so when I looked at the guy, right, he first of all seemed familiar to me. And maybe there was something about him that I kind of like, was like, this guy seemed like a honest and great guy, right? And like the comments that AZ made, I think that really today kind of like spoke to me. But I think that the reason why I did it was the way he looked at me, his familiarity, the way he was so familiar to me, and almost as if I was looking at myself. You know, that if I needed money, I would ask the same way. Hey, can you hook me up? Can you give me some money? And I related to him.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why.
You know what I'm saying? So it was almost I was looking at myself. And I wasn't afraid of him either. Usually I usually am afraid. But I wasn't afraid of him, and it was like looking at myself. When I gave it to him, it was a sense of freedom.
Oh.
And that's why it impacted me, you know, and I always remembered it. I was 15 years old.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, and then when I did give it to him, though, his face just lit up. Like, this guy just gave me $5.
Little kid,
yeah. So this little kid gave me $5, and he's like, he was very, you know, grateful for it. And then when I walked away, I didn't regret it. So that's tight.
That's dope, yo. I think there's many layers of giving. I really do, because I mean, there's many aspects on why people give and what they get back, if they get anything back.
Right.
As far as receiving monetary gains or getting something back, or just getting, like I tell some people, give, and don't worry about getting nothing back.
Right.
Even if you gave that person €5 or $5 or whatever.
Yeah.
What you might receive back just might be a smile the next day to uplift you while you're on your way to work,
right.
While you're feeling sick, or someone just saying good morning to you, or just something in general. But I think there's many different levels of giving and receiving back. There is no just get you're gonna get something back. It's not like whether you want it or not. It's a natural flow, as he spoke earlier. It's a natural balance of exchange of energies and coming and going. I remember one time, even down here a few months ago, I was coming from somebody's house, and they gave me some food, some really good food. It was some injera, some East African food. I was like, I'm about to go home. I'm about to kill this. And on the way walking through the city, I see this guy sitting in the corner with a sign saying I need food for my family.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, like, I really want to kill this food right now. Mm-hmm. This is good. I know it tastes good. But let me go to a restaurant, get a takeaway dish, and I'm going to put it in there because I want to get a person their Tupperware back.
Right.
So I did all that and went back, and the dude was gone. But I still felt good because of the intent that I wanted to give to him.
So let me ask
It's not necessarily just the exchange. I think something deep down inside of ourselves has a certain essence of just wanting to feel good about what we're doing. And it's good that we feel like that because it's genuine. It's true. It's from the heart. It's real. But I'm just saying there's like different levels
of giving.
Of giving.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask AZ, actually, what he thought about this. But like, is it I won't say wrong, but is it the wrong direction to expect, not to expect, but to want that every time you give? Like, when you give, to feel that gratitude that I did that day, because that I wanted more. Mm-hmm. I wanted more of that feeling, and not because I wanted somebody to see me do it. You know, is it selfish? Is it something that?
No, it's not selfish.
So,
I mean, but however, it is. But the thing is when I say selfish, I'm not speaking from a negative context.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's self-love. You want to experience more self-love.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like self-love is expansive. The more sensitive you are, the more you want to like experience that sense of self-love. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just like the expansion that's taking place now in the sexual realms, connecting with people and experiencing a deeper sense of self-love. Right. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you're giving of yourself.
Positive selfishness. Well, I don't even know if that exists.
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't even label it because selfishness as its core, at its core, does not have a negative context.
Right, because all it means is that you're trying.
You're supporting yourself. But the thing is, once again, as you support yourself, you support all.
Right.
You only support your capacity to love through your ability to serve all reflections of self.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, the selfishness is it's not like service to self.
Right.
It's a selfishness that allows you to share your love, to take care of yourself, love yourself, but expand the love that you have to share with all reflections, and you being the source of this experience. Because through your self-love, through your self-forgiveness, through your self-compassion, all the things that you bless yourself with, you're able to share as a radiant frequency amongst the entire reality because you're the source of the experience. If anything, you were cultivating a sense of satisfaction within where you were beyond dependency of need. It was just a feeling that you enjoyed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's nothing out of place about that.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Word. That's super fast.
That's given. And then it's funny how you even said it in the sexual nature. There's people out there that do the same thing, but in more of a sexual nature. They're very giving sexually, but they don't mean it to. They actually want to give that.
It's a healing.
It's a
form of healing.
Come
on, bro.
Right.
So same thing with that. And so I think
yeah, but society is kind of like, strewn upon sex and all that stuff in a negative limelight. Of course, you have diseases and all that such, but then we threw all these attachments and stuff into it, attachments and these fears and these jealousies and stuff, and that's what basically takes the beautiful essence of sharing sex away from what it really should be.
Right.
That's why I'm reading the book Tantra and Kama Sutra. I haven't even gotten to the part where it's telling me how to do something strange for some change. I'm still on the part with the sharing energies and connections part, and I'm finding that so dope. I have to keep going back over it because it's really deep on the essence of basically sharing sexual energies in that connection.
You'll pause. Huh?
Yeah.
Especially
look at it like that while you talk about like sharing some sexual energy.
You agree? Should I do it?
you trying to take off your what?
Come on, man.
What chapter is making $100?
You fast forward, man.
Yeah, what's good, CeeLo? Talk to me about giving, bro. What's
Okay, yeah, I was thinking about this today, like going through a lot of the like right now. So right now, I'm currently trying to get back on my feet, as y'all my brothers know, right? So yeah, so like straight up, I've always been a giving person. Like I've never been one to like shy away from if I got $1 and it's just us two, you ain't got nothing, I'm gonna give you 50 cents.
Right.
Or us four right here, each of us get a quarter, right? No problem. But my issue was my issue was always receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So such a giving person, but the harder point for me is to receive from people.
Mm-hmm.
Is because I think it's the opposite effect. It's like, okay, I received this, now do I feel I have to give more? You know what I mean? But really, in a sense, is that I'm receiving because of the abundance that I keep giving, right? I realize this. However, it's still hard for me today. Like the other day, I could have asked you for a chance to get on the books, but I asked him mine because I'm always asking you. So I was like, okay, let me ask him mine. Let me, share the wealth of that, right? But you know what I'm saying? We didn't end up seeing each other. So RJ was there. I rarely ask RJ for anything because every time I ask RJ for anything, he ain't got something. You know what I mean? But I love you, Jay. But that's real. But Jay's the type to know exactly what he has. He's very German. I know what I got. This is what it's gonna be used for. Blah blah blah. But he gave me something. He was like, nah, I'm not gonna let you falter and not go to school. Here, take this. You go to school and handle your business. So I was like, cool. And then I had a conversation with AZ about that. Like, man, I'm like, it's class, because he was like, what was it? The essays hard? And like, nah, really just getting to school. He's like, man, come on, man, you could just ask, right? But it's hard for me to ask, because when I constantly ask and ask and ask, or feel like receiving, then for me it becomes burdensome. I become burdensome. But yeah, or not that I owe, not that really that I owe, because I know in my heart that it's not that I'm going to owe y'all. You know what I mean? I know that when I get something in abundance, I'm going to give it right back.
I'm thinking you mean by burdensome.
Yeah, no, it's that, and actually this is important for everybody to actually hear. Giving and receiving are both exercises of a sense of balance and beauty within the individual, because a lot of times we block ourselves from, we can be excellent givers and always give and give and give and feel good about it and so on and so forth. But the thing is, because of a false sense of pride, we can't receive.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that false sense of pride is us judging ourselves and feeling as if we're taking from life, when in actuality we are life itself, and based on what we're giving, we're receiving the blessings that we've created for ourselves.
We had this conversation years ago.
No doubt.
Actually, when it happened with your the guy who wanted you to move, help you move, and he was driving the van for you, and you tried to give him money, and he didn't want it.
Yeah, no doubt.
So now, I mean, like, if you can give, you should allow yourself to also receive if somebody wants to give you, because it's all it coincides.
Of course,
it's one of the same. Yeah. So if you're willing to give, you should be able to also receive.
And that kind of has I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
So it has a connotation. I want to say divine masculine, divine feminine connotation to it, because I recognize in my path where I was healing. I'll put it this way: for the majority of my life, I've been in a position to be the epitome of an alpha male. Just a leadership type dude. I get up super early. I work extremely hard in everything I do. I've never had any problems with taking care of myself. I mean, we're talking about from a young age. You know what I'm saying? When it was just me, my mom, and my brother. Yeah, I'm the oldest brother. And my mom selling real estate and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes when you have bread, I would go to work after school. I'd go to UPS and be on back of trucks, stacking boxes and all other kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Stealing from the stove. This. I mean, I'm talking about. I mean, not UPS, but I mean, like my regular job. You know what I mean? All the jobs I had, like I was doing anything to get it, because at the end of the day, I knew we didn't necessarily have a lot of stuff, and I was the oldest. And when people was hungry in the house, I kind of felt responsible. So I'm like, nah, I don't care what I got to do. I'm gonna get it. I'm resourceful. I can hustle. It's too easy. I can do whatever. I just need to make sure we eat, even if it was stealing CDs or something stupid, like, you know what I'm saying. But I was gonna get it. Now, upon my awakening path, and of course, I quit my job and all that kind of stuff. I got this lifestyle. I'm making 6 digits a year, and got this nice place and all that kind of stuff. She got a car. I got a car. All the house is nice and whatever. All of a sudden things change real fast. And then I'm out there playing basketball with y'all, and I broke my leg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then I'm on crutches.
Yep.
I've lost my primary source of income. We got all these bills and all this stuff, and then I'm on one leg. People having to take me places and use the insurance card to pay for the. You know what I'm saying?
That was given, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So hold up. I broke my leg at the basketball court. And like team,
I took my insurance card.
So team stabilized my leg. I'm a medic. I broke my leg. I was in such shock. The team had to stabilize my leg and tell me, be cool, like, be cool. Be quiet. He took me to the hospital. I don't have no insurance. We're in Germany. He used his insurance card to pay for the.
So my name was. Your name was Angel Gonzalez.
Yeah, my name was Angel Gonzalez at the hospital, right? And he's like, so
this is Angel Gonzalez. This is Mr.
Gonzalez. This is like your leg.
You look like a Gonzalez too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he's standing there like, no, I'm Bill Zimmerman.
So you don't look like I'm the bear.
That's the bell, right?
I'm the bell. We switched.
Yeah. Anyway, what happened with that situation? was with all of those things happening and me kind of being, it was like, yeah, most of you had to help me pee in a little,
oh yeah,
he didn't touch my dick.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
hey, I helped him pee too. Okay,
Yeah,
that's the kind of person I am. I give, and when I give, I give.
Yo, look here, man.
Yeah,
Look here. This path.
Hey, I was holding the bottle, bro.
I got pictures and videos.
All right, I tell you, don't do that, bro.
I forgot about that, bro. You know what? We're more than bro now, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Man.
Oh man,
This path has not been easy at all, ladies and gentlemen. But at the end of the day, the point was that during that transition, I had moved from embracing an extremely masculine energy my entire life to being susceptible to an abundant amount of reception. Basically, I was being taken care of. My leg was broke. My lady was taking care of me. I had to, use this insurance card. All of these different things was taking place because I wasn't in a position to support myself. I had to embrace a deep sense of feminine energy, open acceptance of being able to become taken care of. And the thing is, it was over a significant amount of time that I had to allow myself to be taken care of. That was extremely frustrating, especially because you used to being in control. You used to being in charge and having the money and giving the orders and all that kind of stuff the whole time. And then when you broke up and, people got to feed you and all that kind of stuff. People having to come bring me to the hospital or bring me food to the hospital. All the time at the hospital, they having to bring me food and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yo, I feel like such a, like a burden right now. And the thing is that it was necessary for me to embrace that and accept that and allow it, receive gracefully in order for me to continue on the path where I created that balance. Like those experiences over that 4 or 5 years was necessary for me to allow it. Even moving in the crib here, team, like, yo, I'm, trying to help you out. This, I know you got the disease.
Right.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm sorry.
Cuss me out. You ain't helping me. All right, we're helping each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, though. That's what I mean, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember him in the office. He's like, I know what this is. Nah. The doctor wanted him to pay a couple of €1,000 to get his leg fixed. He's like, nah, I know what this is.
It's gonna hurt.
Dude, I'm out of here. He's gone.
Well, like I said, the experience of being able to receive is as beautiful as the ability to give. It takes just as much strength to receive than it does to actually give. Yes, giving is a beautiful thing, and being in a place of to empower others and share the wealth and abundance with others is a beautiful thing. However, a lot of people have a very, very deep difficulty with the actually receiving because of a false sense of pride, of ego, and assuming that because you have to receive some money from somebody or whatever, that makes you any less divine than you are. You're the creator. You're the source of all of this right here. It's just necessary for you to embrace it and allow what's taking place, and sometimes allow life to take care of you. Because at the end of the day, who we are, the angelic realms, are taking care of you every day. I mean, you might not know it. Yeah, I did this, I did that, but in actuality, you being assisted constantly. And the opportunities and resources are being presented to you by unseen forces. Of course, that they're there, and all of us are being supported in that way. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it's important for us to recognize how important receiving is, and release our association with physical resources with true value. True value is your essence, your love, your ability to smile and be open. And you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the source of your value. It's not how much you got or who you get it from, or who got and all that kind of stuff, like the bread. That has nothing to do with your value. Nothing to do with your value at all. It's your ability to recognize who you are as the creator and accept that, like, have the intelligence and wisdom to realize that life is creating everything, or you're basically experiencing your own energy. Yep. So having the openness to say, hey, look, man, I got to get this, you know what I mean, blah, 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 blah. You know, I got to, you know, go to school or whatever. Yo, son, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, son, if a person is immature, they're going to judge you. Like, oh, son, I ain't got no money. Okay, well, let me hook you up then. You know, da. But it just reveals their immaturity.
Right.
But the thing is, if they, you know, when you get it or whatever, and you do what you're doing, you're on that path. You just gotta have the stability and personal magnitude to stand your ground and be in your truth or square without being buzzed and emotionally manipulated by people who assume that they've taken care of you and this is that and the third because they might offer you something or be in a position to help you, not knowing that actually them giving you something is a gift to them.
Right.
That's their gift. It's a gift that you're able to help me. It's a gift to you, but maybe you might not be mature enough to recognize that. You know what I'm saying? It's just necessary. Once again, us within the spiritual realms or within on this path of awakening, we have to have the compassion and wisdom to see the bigger picture and recognize that it's an exchange and both people are blessed within that exchange. The person giving and the person receiving, both are blessed. So there's no high posting on another because you're in a particular position. If there is a high post, that means there's a sense of spiritual immaturity in one of the two. But of course, you being mature, you have the capacity and wisdom to see beyond it. It's like, all right, son, I see that's where you at. It's all good. I know you feel like you hooking me up and I'm broke and all this other kind of stuff. But for real, you're a child.
Yep.
And I'm God. And realizing the nature of the circumstances.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, we have to have the ability to see from a place of compassion and know that we're always taking care of and we're always experiencing our own energy. You dig?
Yeah,
so
I gotta admit, sometimes I fall into, that fear. In my position and where I'm at now, I don't post a lot of things on my Facebook, but only because I know how others will receive it. And not a lot of people will take it, and it takes a certain courage to actually, be open like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I'm going through that, but but that also brings me to something else, another story. When does giving become detrimental? And what I mean is, I don't know if you guys remember. I'm gonna bring Hector in this. When we were
shout out to Hector.
Yeah, child. What's up, Hector? And
I
hope you're listening, Hector. By the way. So I remember he brought a homeless man to the house. I remember that. He brought a homeless man to the house. Okay, so we're roommates. I got my wife. I got my little girl in the house. And Hector goes out to Changos, and in the street he meets a homeless man. And the homeless man, asked him for some money. He said he was an electrician from from somewhere in Africa or something, and that he needed some work. And then Hector was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll pay you to fix our lights in the house. Come on over." So takes him. He brings him home. I wake up in the morning on my underwear, walking around to the kitchen, and there's this homeless man on my table eating chicken. All right, so he's eating the chicken, and I look at him. So who are you? I'm like, yo, who are you? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a friend of Hector's. And he's eating his chicken and stuff.
He didn't even stop.
He didn't even stop. He just eating his chicken.
No, that was Hector.
Now, I thought it was pretty funny, but then after a while, I was thinking to myself, he doesn't know this guy. Right? And maybe I'm speaking in the fear-based,
I get it.
In a fear-based situation, but I was like, what if, this guy would have done something to my daughter or my wife, or, kind of put us in a situation, and he doesn't know this guy picked up from the street and I know he's a very giving person, and that was giving, and that was maybe love, but is the fact that he wasn't thinking about the people in his circle an act of a sort of an imbalance.
It's a violation of free will.
Violation
consider Y'all
So,
free will
would've
would
been
that be
by
okay?
himself.
If he was by
Right.
himself, no problem.
Yeah, if
Right.
it was just me and him like we used to be, I would have just laughed it off, right?
Yeah,
You
most
know what I'm
definitely,
saying?
most
But
definitely.
this is a
But
little bit different.
he didn't consider the nature
Right.
of the household. It's more than just him.
Right.
And him and you. Even if it was just you and him,
Right.
he still would have had to consider your perspective on the circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
But his intentions were all good.
Yeah, of course. His
I mean,
intention
his intention was all love. You know what I mean? Trying to help the guy. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that don't matter.
No doubt. But once
sometimes
again,
I give it.
it brought out a sense of discomfort. 'Cause,
Exactly.
like, yo, you didn't consider.
So sometimes I think part of giving is also considering everyone else's free will.
Yeah, of course. Violation of free will, and a lot of this has to do with the nature of like your individual comfort. You know what I mean? Of course, everybody kind of has their comfort zone and what they're able to recognize at the moment. You know what I mean? There's still a lot of people who consider people strangers. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they brought a stranger in my house, and they label people as strangers. I don't recognize that. I recognize that all souls are reflections, regardless if I consciously know them or have communicated with them in the past or not. They're reflections of self.
Right.
But once again, I cannot force another to operate on that level of consciousness. I can't force another to operate on that level of consciousness. So if I was to bring a person in here, I would have to consider teams level of or outlook on the situation, or Corey's outlook on the situation. I can't just, impede my values on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd have to take that into consideration.
Well, I remember having an intervention with him, actually. It was me and a couple of guys.
Time out. You know I'm about to go with
No,
that.
I don't know.
You ain't asked me.
Oh, no, don't do that. No, time out.
Wait,
Must
wait.
be on
I
144,000.
Wait, I
Stop.
missed something.
No, you missed nothing. Let's go on. Yo, CeeLo.
We're moving on now. We're moving on.
Somebody put me on.
So I guess,
no.
I guess I would have to say that that's good. Yeah, I feel that. And sometimes, like, giving can be in a detrimental space, right? If you're not,
That's why I love this guy, bro.
If you're in an imbalance, you know what I mean?
Right.
At the same time, sometimes you just give, like Hector. Hector just pause before this, but he just give, right? And you receive
like a rabbit.
I'm pretty sure Hector gives more than he receives, only for the simple fact that that's like normal. Like, man, come on, man, normal. And but now, as I see our brother Hector, he's receiving a lot of blessings right now. For me, but right now, like not being physically here with us, but seeing him somewhere else, receiving these blessings in a whole nother area. And right now, for me, I told him the other day, I was like, hey man, for real, you DJing these weddings. For me, it's like that's like one of a big blessing and a big honor when somebody has you DJ their wedding at a sacred moment in their life experience. So I told him, I was like, you could be DJing in front of 1,000 people in a stadium, all of that. I was like, I bet that you're not going to get that same feeling when you DJ for these people's weddings.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
sacred experience, like a celebration of love.
So he's receiving a lot of love right now back. So I know he's probably like
he's doing his thing.
Bringing the homeless man to Angel's crib.
Yeah,
maybe it was a lesson for me to learn something.
Yeah.
But, all right, cool.
He did come back twice again, but
more chicken.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did come back.
And he fixed the lights and all of that?
He did fix the lights though. So
oh,
good.
That's dope.
He was an electrician. He was cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. It was just the fear that kind of like, yo, son.
The initial like, yo.
I was scared too. My life.
Oh man, go ahead.
I was scared of my life.
I thought I would just wake up and hear some.
Damn, man.
Yo, hold on, yo, son. Where should go next? See me. Palms, Returning to Christ, Super Dope.
I think right now Super Dope would be very prevalent because ain't no group super doper than us, man. No,
All right, cool. That's what's up. All right, easy enough, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us at the Let's Build. We're gonna take one more break or another break and put on the song called Super Duper Dope featuring Born 13. Big up Born 13 out there in New Jersey right now.
Yo.
Keep on laying them stickers, bro. We love you. And can't wait for you to get back next week. Still
Swooshie.
rocking and rolling. Yeah, bring that swooshie too, baby. You know what time it is. The next song we're playing is once again Super Duper Dope featuring Born 13 and myself. And we'll be back after these messages with our talk or discussion and review of your comments, any questions, any stories that you have to share. So please, this will be the time to share your stories. So I'll get either Amun Ra or overseas to check them out, and then we can talk about it. All right. Thank you for being here. Let's build. The discussion is on giving.
Cherry said bringing a homeless man to the house reminded her of an episode in The Big Bang Theory.
Super dope, y'all. Super dope, super dope. Got a super dope Cuba. No other Cuba is better than my Cuba. Cigars made in Cuba, rockin' gobbles like scuba. My name is Cuba, I like this Cuba. He's a super Cuba, from super. Stars like sugar. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know we gonna do ya. Yo, we fly out here in the sky, boy. You know we doing the lowest good. 13, where you going, son? You know, flying in the friendly sky. Oh, yeah. I'm showing up in Lima, looking fly like a beamer. Then I rate you side. Can you tell me how you seen her? Sipping that oil, man. It don't get no cleaner. Dropping trailers like FEMA, cooking veggies with the steamer. Get them made it cleaner, take them straight to the cleaner. So you're in the space, y'all. Get that like a ringer. Super duper dope, flood the net like a cleaner. Lose it out by the pound if you know what I mean. What I mean, yo. Yeah, when I mean it, yo. Yo, super duper dope, super duper dope, yo, super duper dope, super duper 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 dope. Yo, yo, from here to infinity, silver look a bit of time. Solo skeleton, Michigan, Oblivion, Movie Dig Deep, down with Megatron and Clarion, and light making beautiful. Shooting time be suitable for water flights and such. Command team is caliber. Numbers, rapping letters, new solutions on some algebra. Horsepower, caliber, soul, glow, press, stallion, rounded blood, stallion, horse and carriage, cousin, Cameron, sunshine, and got a caliber, light magic, never average, syllable, suits, he's staggering, chill. Ricky Booty, no American, Steve Boston, when I'm wrestling. Shaman, mighty morphin, when Rita tossed the javelin, over in the cocoa plant, of blue, heavily with a stamp, cosmic colors back again, yeah. Love, but it's just for the rain, you like kids be rain, yo, look, yeah, super, duper, dope, yo, more 13, Luke Skywalker, Universal Brothers and Sisters, we up in here, always and forever, yo. The day, 144,000 on the ground. Super dope, super duper dope, super dope. Yeah. Yup. That's where we march to, You heard. Love, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to Let's Build. Today's talk discussion is on the gift of giving. As always, we are here, Universal Brothers and Sisters in the flesh. Is Ace, I'm going to call you Ace Styles. AAA in the building, overseas. Corey, Amun Ra, Chill, and of course, who I am, the Asiatic specialist, as your commander, Ash Tar in the flesh, Red Skywalker. It's time to go to our comment section and review some of your chatter and see if we can address anything, any stories, share stories amongst the collective, or any insight that may be provided as to the nature of your comments.
I got something from Pam.
Yes, sir.
Pamela is asking, what about giving back? What doesn't belong to you? I find it very magical. Giving back what doesn't belong to you.
You talking about like
I guess like
returning stuff?
Returning stuff, like someone dropped their wallet and you give it back to them with no intent of jacking them.
Of course, personal integrity is always a beautiful experience. Giving back wasn't blunt. I mean, come on, this is a sense of personal responsibility. When someone is gracious enough to share what they have with you in support of everything that's taking place in your life, it's a beautiful thing to be able to return that which they've given, where you restore a sense of trust, or you not even restore, I would say aid in the trust that others or reflections of self have in the nature of humanity, being open-hearted and willing to continue to share what they have in support of others. Once again, our sharing and our responsibility in returning that which is shared are all both beautiful experience and wonderful expressions here amongst all reflections within this dimension. So Pamela, excellent point and necessary for us to recognize as we speak about giving today. So yes, returning that which you received is a beautiful thing. So what you got?
Miss Ellen Bush, I have always been a giver and had people tell me I was too generous. I love being the Santa, so to speak. There came a time when I was divinely guided to leave everything behind and accept the assistance of a friend. This was very hard, but necessary for me to learn to receive.
Absolutely, most beautiful. Once again, I'm gonna stop saying that one day. Not today, though. So once again,
speech class.
You dig? That's actually a theme amongst a lot of awakening souls amongst this transition. The healing process. The healing process involves a lot of, I want to say, renovation. And I heard an analogy a while ago, and it resonated so deeply with me that I will repeat it at this time. And let's speak about what I'm referencing first. What I'm referencing is when you awaken and move into this path of ascension, the healing work and the expansion. It involves a lot of the dissolving or tearing down of a reality that you've built based on the ego-based activities. As I expressed before, I had a different lifestyle, a different standard of living based on the money that I was making from the work that I was doing of the ego. Me attempting to maintain and take care of myself, working for the federal government and all the things that came with that work. When I made the decision to be of support of humanity and shift out of supporting myself solely, basically a lot of the things that I had were taken away. Basically, I lost a house and cars and my queen and a lot of my friends that were around at the time. So some of them were turned off by the things that I was writing, and they're like, "Okay, so you extraterrestrial now, and you're an angel, and this. You used to be cool, blah 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 blah." You know what I mean? All of these things kind of went away because it was based on the ego-based me, and that can be rather dramatic for a lot of us experiencing and moving along this path or moving into this path, because the things tear down. The reality that we built up for ourselves out of a sense of security and comfort, they go away. And it's a renovation. It's a renovation because all the things that we are letting go of, dissolving, we're making room for even grander experience of a much more broader capacity and caliber based on the new reality of an awakening sense of presence, a conscious sense of being, the work and the resources and all the things that are provided for us within a new reality are based on this new construct, our new sense of awakened self. So the place that you live, the people that you have around you, the your place of abode, the resources, your amount of resources, the cars you have, whatever the case may be, they're replaced for a much more grander and purer existence within your life. And this is the renovation. So I say all that to say the analogy that I heard is awakening is like standing in the center of a house that's being torn down and rebuilt, because you're going to witness the wrecking ball swing through the living room while you're standing there. You're going to witness the truck, what do they call them trucks with the scoop?
The bulldozers.
Yeah, the bulldozers and all this stuff coming through your home. The dump trucks, all of the machinery, all of these things destroying everything around you. But the thing is this renovation requires you just to stand there and watch and observe and allow the destruction to take place and accept all that is taking place. Like all these things are just going to fall down. It's going to be destroyed, and you're going to feel a sense of danger. You're going to feel harm, or you want to protect yourself, and like assume that you're not safe. And second guess what's going on. Like, well, they just destroying the house. And the thing is the nature of your wisdom is in your ability to accept what's taking place and just stand there. To just accept these things as they destroy themselves. Yeah? Now, with that, what's happening is the old house is being destroyed. But as you continue to stand there, and the smoke clears, and the bulldozers and all the people come and take all the trash away and move everything, you still have the foundation of your home that you're still standing in the middle of. What happens from that point is you have a blueprint of a much grander mansion being built around you. It's just that you had to stay there and stand there and trust as your old house crumbled that it will be okay. And as you stand there and the new house is built around you, you find yourself in a much more grander reality, a much more beautiful home that you could not express a level of, you wouldn't have the capacity to express the level of gratitude for that home when you finish realizing what's being built around you. It's just that you have to trust the reconstruction and the refinement or the renovation while it's taking place and not move. It's necessary to stand your ground and allow the destruction to take place. This is what's happening. This is a metaphor to describe what's happening to you on every level of your existence in this now moment. The courage to trust yourself and trust that all that is taking place is necessary and of your greatest benefit. However, you won't necessarily recognize what is actually taking place during the process until the later aspects of the process. You may see hints and pieces and notions of what is actually being built, but you won't necessarily know the blueprint of what's being built around you.
That's kind of like when I airbrush.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I would want to do, but it always looks weird until I'm done. You ever get that feeling when you airbrush? I'm like, damn, I'm really messing up right now. But it just don't look like the image that I wanted to look like.
But when you're done with it,
it's done. It's
time. No doubt. But that's the nature of the painting. So the artists don't know what's being created until it's finished. It's a bunch of songs that I made where I record some verses, and I'm not feeling it when it's like when I finish recording verses. However, when I do ad-libs and I do mixing and change the voices and stretch and reverb and all this other kind of stuff, it's like my favorite song. And it's been songs that I've done that too that I still wasn't necessarily feeling, but everybody else love them. Like, oh my God, I love this song. It's like my favorite song from y'all. It's like, well, when I finished making it, I wasn't necessarily feeling it like that, but I'm glad you like it like that. But that goes to another point. That's why it's necessary for us to trust our creativity. When we're creating things, we'll automatically assume that we'll judge what we create and not share it. because we've judged it and we basically not allowed it to come out. Because, oh no, this is not good, this is whack, nobody's gonna like this, and the third, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
I think we judge because we have an image of what we think it should be.
yeah, most definitely.
Even when we just put like one thing down,
Mm-hmm.
we expect to see something from it already. It's like, you ain't even finished yet. Like,
you ain't really done nothing. Most definitely. So, you know what I mean? Once again, the nature of unconditional love and acceptance and then trusting yourself and, you know, sharing what you have, you know what I mean? And trusting the process. It's all about a sense of trust that you have within yourself on all levels when it comes to the renovation and life changes and your creativity and all. You just have to continue to trust what's going on and be open and accept what it is. Accept what it is. Songs, you know what I mean? Like I just put out, I ain't necessarily, you know, wasn't feeling at the time. But later on, I'm like, I really like that song. But I had to put it out, though. If I'd have thrown it away and just not released it or whatever, it had just sat there for nobody to enjoy. And I probably would have never enjoyed it in the end because I would never listen to it again. You know what I mean? So we just have to create and put it out there. Just continue to share and be open to what unfolds. Same thing with the whole process. What else y'all got, man?
Andrea Gassurand is blessed as she expresses she is homeless and a beautiful man is sharing his home with her, and he's asking for nothing in return.
Awesome.
Blessings to you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yes, but she does cook for him.
That's dope.
Return the love.
Most definitely returning the love. That's beautiful. A wonderful exchange.
Yeah, the one that she said.
First, I want to say peace to Matne Fluid. I'm not sure if I'm getting that right, but
Montefiore.
Montefiore. Those were some dope lyrics you posted earlier.
Oh yeah,
I'm really feeling your flow. That was high. That was real high. But Carrie said, yes, what goes around does come around. She's blessed to live in the expensive part of London. However, the generous landlord here only charges her 1/3 of what they should pay. And everything is inclusive. And free travel everywhere from workplace. There's no question behind it, but basically I'm assuming that you're grateful for basically being able to receive what you're getting, right, Carrie?
Yo, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I come to the crib?
Word.
Did you go?
Nah.
It
It was late. They had a long way to get back to the house. I got back to my crib before they did.
Wow. Okay. Oh, that's right. She was at the Caribbean jump with
It was downtown. It was downtown somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Well, I just told C something. I didn't get with you online.
Okay. Yeah, he got to get with me offline.
Everything else you put up black.
I got to get with you offline.
From Melissa.
Oh yeah, Melissa Matt. I have been told I trust too much and people take me for granted. At one point, I gave all I had in my account to assist.
If you walk away, it's gonna cut off. Yeah.
Oh, is it gonna shut off?
No, you're good. Don't worry. So what?
You heard?
Just stay close.
Oh yeah, I know, but that's just gonna go down the room, son.
Wait.
What's up, bro? Say it again.
This is from Mel. I have been told I trust too much and people take me for granted. At one point, I gave all I had in my account to assist.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
Everything.
So, I mean,
Laura says she has a
only
similar
money.
experience.
So, Mel, you know what this is already. It's trust. Yeah, of course. Others will project their fear on you, but everybody doesn't have the capacity to live with the courage that you have. So once again, you are a leader in that aspect, and it's necessary for you to continue to do what you're doing and trust in yourself. You know what's going on. And of course, this is where we connect. So always a pleasure to connect with you, and thank you for being here and shining the light, such a brilliant light, and leading the way for humanity. So
There's a bunch of comments, of course. But,
Well, Laura said she thought she was the only one that judged herself.
okay.
Mhm.
You're not. You're
to
not.
judge yourself?
Yeah.
Oh no, you got plenty of company, Laura. You got plenty of company. Self judgment is a fad here on planet Earth. Well, not even.
self-judging, judging others.
Yeah, I mean, this is the root of all judgment. The root of all judgment is self-judgment. Because when a person stops judging themselves, they stop judging others. Most of humanity is within a place of judgment. They feel like it's healthy or responsible or mature. It's not. Assumptions. Oh no, healthy amount of judgment. Like, brother, I get it, but at the same time, the mental judgments or the healthier judgments, quote unquote, they're based on mental analysis, which is limiting. It's limited. You have no idea what's really taking place or what's behind the scenes of what you observe at present. Yeah, of course, you can make calls and make decisions and stuff like that based on the intuition. However, attempting to analyze the situation with the mind construct is limiting.
It's limiting. It doesn't allow you to have unconditional love either.
Most definitely.
Because judgment cannot exist if you have unconditional love.
Most definitely. Absolutely. So unconditional love is the foundation. Yes. If anything, it's necessarily trust, it's intuition. And there's people who use the word discernment quite often. And once again, the discernment is nothing but judgment in disguise. It's a beautiful term. Like, oh, no, it's not judgment. It's discernment. Like, look up discernment. It's judgment. It's the same thing. Move with your intuition. You don't have to think about anything. When you make a decision, you make a decision with your heart. You already know the answer. You already know what's necessary. Go with the flow. Move with the intuition. Don't sit there and stop. Oh, let me discern real quick. Like you're judging. You're analyzing. You're mentally thinking about what's taking place, and you're trying to cross the X's and O's and come up with the strategy or whatever the case may be to make your decision. The heart always knows now. There's no delay when it comes to the intuition.
And there's no thinking about it.
Of course, there's no thinking about it. Do what you need to do. Oh, let me just discern real quick. Like, come on. What else y'all got, man?
I don't know if this was a question, Laura Marie, but I'm going to read it anyway. Recognizing what is not real amidst what is the truth.
Recognizing
amidst and what is the truth? Yeah, basically.
Recognizing the illusion versus the truth.
No, she just meant that statement.
Sharing a vision or just the question.
I think she just was. I don't even know if it was a question. It's kind of a statement, like a profound statement. It was an intuition that's responsible for all of that. You know what I mean? Like when you operate with the intuition, you see through. It's all transparent. But once again, this is where it's necessary to continue to cultivate the grounding practices that we speak on, because the more you cultivate the grounding, the more sensitive you are when you can see through these things. And there's no delay in your sense of attempting to distinguish the difference between the illusion and the truth. There's no analysis. There's no delay. However, all of these things are available through grounding. This is where we're focused. This is where we're focused, and you're divinely guided in all that you do. You're 100% invested in all that you do. You're 100% present, active, efficient, and effective in all that's being presented to you as life unfolds for you, and being from who you are as source. There is no disconnect. It's just, once again, the grounding is what's absolutely necessary continuously. So,
let me see what I got here. Okay. Oh, we got some good ones coming up in here now. Okay, so Lucy said, I have gratitude and feel blessed about so many things in my life. In fact, all can be classed as a blessing, even the not so good things that happen, as it shows us the way to more truths and understanding of self. So, and Laura Marie, people very often project anger or frustration towards me because I love to give. People often say I'm way too nice. This used to hold me back from being myself. Now I know that I need to trust my own heart.
Because you're a leader. This is what leaders do. Leaders know the path and live abundantly. Just because most people, and at the end of the day, most people will have a problem with the way that you operate. Why? Because it makes them uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable with operating within the ego mind. When they see a person doing something that everybody else is doing, they attempt to make them feel uncomfortable because they feel uncomfortable. This is what happens. So continue to do the work and trust yourself. You're not interested in being like everybody else. You're a leader. You're here to lead the way.
Martin Fur says, I love you, Lavelle Zimmerman. Again, your soul shines bright. Such a kind man. Thank you for all you're doing for everyone, the earth, and the future.
Absolutely. Humble honor and pleasure as we all shine this light. It's a great pleasure. I'm speechless when it comes to how humble I am to be here and to serve. Of course, it's a great honor for me to share such a mission with you.
We got Melissa. What's up, Mel? Is it Melissa or Mel? She's been posting Mel for like so long. Now it's Melissa tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, she been having, she changed
Melissa.
Hi, Alyssa. What's up, girl?
Yeah.
Today, she assisted her precious employee with monies that she had received to assist herself.
Mm-hmm.
He acquired it within hours. I was giving it back 2 or 3 times the amount.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. See?
Wow. Just like that.
Just that. It's always in the intent. It's the intent. It's just the level of trust that you have allows for such an experience. It was only about you basically showing that you trusted beyond the fear of security, the fear of survival. This is where you live abundantly. Many times, in order or to be receptive or in a place to experience this type of abundance, life will not necessarily test. It will require you to show where you are on the scale of courage and abundance through providing you with the opportunity to share, to give, just to see if you're going to give. And usually when you give, you get it right back. It's like, cool. We just wanted to make sure you was good. I mean, in actuality, amongst this process, there is quite a bit of abundance that is manifesting itself within this reality amongst the transition that we're experiencing. Many heavenly technologies that we speak of course, we spoke of the Nasara Gasara funding that is destined here on the planet amongst humanity. Of course, amongst the council, we speak on this quite often, and observing the path and our monitoring taking place, where in actuality those who are moving or more mature when it comes to abundance, when it comes to sharing, when it comes to focus and being of service to humanity from a place of wholesomeness, we speak and make decisions based on the actions and decisions that many souls make as far as when it comes to who gets what initially. Because as we distribute these funds, the resources and advanced technologies to be shared amongst humanity, we intend to issue them to mature hands, the most mature hands, in doing so and continuing to support the nature of the mission. So many times amongst this path, some of you will experience the opportunities to give, to see where you are. Many of you experienced initiations during your sleep to see where you are energetically when it comes to resources and abundance and your ability to handle and be responsible with a certain amount of resources. So when we do issue these out, those who are within this frequency of maturity and responsibility will be the recipients of such responsibility because they're ready for them. So this is the nature of that. Continue to move forward and trust your path. It's a beautiful experience indeed.
Yeah. I'm gonna read one for you.
Yo.
I think this person's new. I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Pia Peel.
Peace, Pia.
Okay. I have shed everything, and I don't even have a dream anymore. The void between what was and what will be is nothingness. Realizing that grounding in the nature and being present with children are keeping me in the present. Realizing in these times what I want to create more of in my life, deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of deep there.
Yeah, very profound expression. However, once again, what's his name? Pierre? Pierre. The nature of your path is already there. The nature of your experience has already been created. It's nothing to attempt to create or come up with. Infinite intelligence is, and of course will always be, beyond the illusion of space and time. As a creator, you're here experiencing the experience that you already created. Yes, the process of healing involves the release and letting go, the courage to allow that which you have embraced a sense of comfort with as far as familiarity on the physical level. It's necessary to allow for you to expand upon a deeper sense of self-trust. The nothingness is the peace that we all treasure. This is the divine truth, the nothingness of being present and being within one's own love and recognizing now as all there is. Yes, there is nothing. However, there is, or everything has its foundation in nothingness. Everything has its foundation in nothingness. Out of the unseen comes the seen. So yes, this now moment remains that of nothingness. However, as the creator experiencing a wondrous blessing, experience of the micro to the macro, you're here to experience a path that the ego mind could never imagine. It does not have the capacity to imagine what is being manifested and unfolded for you in this now moment. So now, of course, remains a space of trust, where out of that nothingness is the grounding that is allowing for the intentions, for the preferences that you have to be manifested. So once again, now is a blessing and all is well. Thank you for being here. What you got, bro?
Shout out to Kateness out there from Bergen.
Love. What up, Kate?
Deutschland.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she on here.
What's up, Kate?
Saying good night.
Where them kitties at?
Yeah, some folks are saying good night and stuff. Yeah, where the cats at? Where Big Mama? And,
What else y'all got, bro? It's
What
almost
else? Let me
11.
see. Nothing. Some good night and
That's it.
stuff.
All right, cool, beautiful. Yeah, they're ringing the alarm, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are over our time, our 2 hours, starting at 8:30. It is now pushing 11, so I will pass the mic over to the maestro so he can. Actually, no, I'm the maestro tonight. I have the playlist on my phone. We're gonna go with the love the one, the beautiful transmission at the end. So we're going to move on to our last song for tonight called Love the One, a beautiful transmission via Thoth. I want to say 3 years ago, expressed on this track at the end. This will be our last song for tonight. And then we'll come back for our outro and salutations. So thank you for being here once again. Love the One featuring Thoth. Overseas, gonna post a link here in just a second.
Red Skywalker, every day, G, you know we ain't faking jacks over here. Some Ford Section 89, let's do it. Check it. Archangel lace original samples, let it flourish through the heavenly bodies, like the green from all the previous planets. Mount that was wrecked, return to the aspect. The best be showing that with revelational lyrics. All is one with the spirit. It's the love that be knowing the direction I'm going. Roll your boat with the current, float the flow, Tom Sawyer. We gon' turn up the volume, inspirational showers, overflowing elixir. Let Excalibur kick it, lay through to the fences. Call like I'm Vincent, freaking speech when I finish. I'm fine, tuning the pendulum circle, saying affirmative, sour candies preferable. Touch your heart like the death skull. Yo, yeah, etheric, spiritually dope, yeah, yo, salute the fleet one time, yeah. ETs.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Thoth, or also known by the name Hermes, the Ascended Master. Many of you know me from ancient Egypt as the creator of the Emerald Tablets. I am the primary wisdom keeper of the earth and its Akashic libraries. For many eons of time, this sacred and ancient wisdom of Gaia has been buried deep in the sands of time. This was because of the fall of the consciousness of the humans. We were instructed by the Divine Father and the Divine Mother to close access to these libraries of wisdom until the time was revealed when we would be able to use this knowledge again for the highest good of all. Now is the time. If you are being led to this channel, it means that you are also a wisdom keeper and have been given access to these etheric libraries. You have been given the key to access this knowledge, so to speak. You are also a messenger for humankind as this information gets dispersed now through the ascended human Christ consciousness. There are many sacred libraries throughout the world. They are hidden in the hollow earth. I will tell you of a few of these locations, although there are many more that will be revealed, as appropriate for your own personal healing or collective development. 1. The Sphinx in Egypt. 2. Nichiren Monastery in Tibet. 3. Kamakya Temple in India. 4. The Pyramid of the Magician, Mexico. 5. Machu Picchu, Peru. In your meditation or by accessing the Akashic records, call on me, Thoth, and I will validate that you have been given a key, and I will escort you into these libraries of knowledge. This is a wondrous time, and I so look forward to seeing you all again after these eons of time. We love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a great honor and pleasure to connect with you all. Let's build every Thursday. Today's topic was, of course, the gift of giving. A great honor. I'm glad many of you had a lot to take from the experience. Of course, we continue to give, and as you receive, you continue to give more and more amongst this reality. We continue to heal. And of course, the healing process is a joyful process indeed. Thank you for always being here. Big shout out to, once again, AAA, overseas, God Our Moon, and last but not least, all of you universal brothers and sisters here on the planet Earth, on the surface, shining that light, beacons of light, always. We love you dearly. I am your Commander Ashtar, the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light. Always the love and light of the infinite creator. Thank y'all for being here.